Street cred sports. Street cred sports. I'm crossing over. I'm Euro stepping.
Hello, this is Keenan of Street Cred Sports Training, and welcome to another episode, Time to Ball. My man in the black.
Let's go.
My man in the black.
Yes, sir.
A little bit lighter here. We decided to change our times, so it's a lot more brighter. Like my third grade teacher would kill me for saying a lot more brighter. It's brighter in here. Sorry, Miss Napier. That's my third grade teacher. Boy. She taught me. She said, "You never say me and you. It's like saying mean you." And it's weird how things from your elementary or maybe middle school with great teachers, how it just sticks with you.
It resonates with you, man, for sure.
For life, man.
Yeah.
So shout out to educators. I mean, you're an educator as well.
I am an educator.
And I didn't do that just because he's here, right? He wasn't my third grade teacher, but I had a lot of great teachers throughout, not just third grade, but she sticks out because of that term. So educators are important. They take a lot of flack. Maybe they need to open that store, like I said, with whooping kids and parents' ass.
Now that I'm down for. that I'm down for.
I'm gonna send the clip out for that. But yeah, maybe they need to, cause some of these kids, y'all need y'all asses whooped.
No doubt. No, teachers too. Cause as well as I've had some good ones, I've had some ones that have been absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
Miss Beavers.
Oh, damn, you
fifth grade. Yeah.
So she was bad?
Oh my
man. Damn, you just putting it. Sorry, Miss Beavers.
No, I'm not sorry, Miss Beavers.
I don't know who you are.
Miss Beavers said, "Hey, listen, you are going to be a criminal when you grow up."
That's what she told me. No, Miss Beavers
took her nail and dug it in my little afro.
Oh no, Miss Beavers didn't do you like that, man.
Sure did. I stood up. I'm like, "Miss Beavers, don't do that."
Do you know where Miss Beavers is now?
I don't. I wish I did.
You might need to go see Miss Beavers and let her know that you motivated me to be a really good man, outstanding in the community and everything.
Absolutely, Miss Beavers. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, let's keep it positive. We don't want Miss Beavers kinfolk rolling up on.
That's what I needed at that time. That's probably what I needed at that time. So
I don't think I ever had a teacher who was like, really negative, telling me. All of my teachers were. It's weird. It's like throughout my elementary, middle school, and high school, all of my teachers were great. I had some funny teachers.
I did too, man. I had my orchestra teacher. Yes, I was in orchestra for 8 years and stage band. Mr. Tombosky, love you. Still around. My principal, elementary principal, Miss Browder. She's the only reason I got into education. She literally changed my major.
Nice.
So Miss Barella, or Barella as they say here, third grade teacher. Awesome.
Damn, you got a list?
I don't, man.
That's cool. He just like I got some. I tell you what, I had an 8th grade teacher named Miss Imajulu, and she read Bram. It was Bram Stoker's Dracula book. That's the first time anybody ever read a book like in class. And like as she's reading, you like, okay, I'm listening. Yeah, like, all right, and I'm like, man, this is gonna pass the time away, so I'm with it. So I'm listening. And then as she started reading the beginning and she started like reading how descriptive it was, and as she was, phrasing everything, I could swear in that classroom, all of a sudden it got dark.
She painted a picture for y'all.
Painted a picture, and I felt like I was in Transylvania. I was like, yo, somebody, hey, we leaving together, right? I ain't going to the bathroom because I don't know if he in there, right? Man, it was beautiful. So my love for books and horror and stuff took another turn, and it was just because I always thought I just needed to see it. So I've had some funny teachers. One of my funniest teachers in middle school. He would call you, right? Now, he was a shop teacher. Okay. But he was missing one of his fingers, right? We was scary in itself. It's like, well, yo, you shopping, you missing a finger.
Boy,
like
that's a problem.
I don't know if I want to take direction from you.
You ain't lying.
But he never called me my correct name. He always called me Kenya.
Oh, wow.
But he would look at me and he would point like this, and he was pointing with his nub, and he say, "Come here, kid," yeah, just like that, man. Man, it was always funny. I would get in trouble because I would laugh because I was like, he's telling me to come here with the finger. That's the nub.
That's the
man.
nub, huh?
He even taught. He was a shop teacher when my uncle was going to that middle school.
Wow.
So
They still have shop nowadays?
wow. You know what? My daughter's, I gonna say it like it. My son-in-law was a shop teacher at Coronado.
Nice.
And he was doing the FFA Farmers Program. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
It was amazing. He is amazing when it comes to that stuff. The kids gravitated to him. Mm-hmm. He had everybody trying to get him to come. Coronado wanted him. He was still teaching. I think it's Lincoln.
Yep.
Yeah, he was teaching at Lincoln, but Coronado was trying to get him, but he stayed over there, and they ended up moving. But the impact he was making on those kids, apparently there was like a line for people to try to get in that class.
Wow, that is called changing lives right there.
Yes,
that's changing lives.
And those kids like his son was taking the class as well. His son is a welder. He's doing excellent and everything. So
skills for life.
Yes, yes. So look, I didn't mean for it to veer off like that, but I think it is great that we mention, like, there are a lot of great professions, right? Teachers are very important, and I think we do need to have, get back to ass whooping. Did you ever get a whooping in school?
I did, man.
Did you get a whooping with that big paddle? Right? Did they hit you with that big paddle?
They got me.
Now, did the paddle they hit you in, was it straight or did they have holes poked in?
This one, Mr. Grissom, I still remember, man. And you know what? It wasn't even my fault. I didn't even do it. But I had the biggest afro at the time, believe it or not. And so they called me out, and Mr. Grissom, he gave me a nice one.
Yeah.
A nice one.
With the holes in the board.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
and
sir.
there's something about it's like when they hit you with the hole, it's like the holes suck your butt, like part of your butt up. Yeah. And when they pull back, it's like, oh, man.
And the sting just lasts a little bit longer.
Yeah,
man. A little bit longer.
And the one they had was so damn long, they was efficient. It was so long, they'd have like 2 or 3 people lined up at the same time. Next 3.
That's crazy. Yeah, I remember that. Corporal punishment.
Yeah. Now,
corporal punishment.
I ain't about, beating the crap out of kids, but I have noticed a change with how kids' mentality and how parents' mentality is. And look, I use the term all the time here is accountability. You got to be accountable. I got to be accountable. You got to be accountable. The kids got to be accountable. So, I mean, you're not helping the kids by not being accountable. What happens is, as they get older, they end up, not being accountable for things, and you have bad stuff going on.
Completely doing, without the discipline piece,
right.
You're completely doing disservice to anyone.
Right.
Anyone.
Right. So, all right. So let's get on to things that are on my mind. Now, here's first thing has actually nothing to do with sports. And I probably should be getting some kind of fee from Netflix for doing this. Look, it's weird once you get older, you enjoy being at home. I enjoy being at home more, watching TV. And my wife and I will get into these little phases where hey, I'm an HGTV person. I still love watching House Hunters, right? It's just something I enjoy. And it's funny sometimes, it'd be like, man, y'all know y'all can't afford that house. Why y'all, why y'all acting so bougie and stuff, but that's just a thing that my wife and I love. We've gotten into documentaries, right, where we like to see documentaries. So there was this one called Turning Point on Netflix. It's 3 different ones. It was one on 9/11. It was one on Cold Wars, and there's a new one on Vietnam. If you ain't seen the one on Vietnam, it's crazy. It is like, wow.
Really?
Right? So, and it takes you behind everything. You know how documentaries do.
Yeah. We
started searching for different things. We come up to this thing, it was called The Kings of Tupelo, right? So it's like, you see the trailer and you're kind of laughing, and some of the stuff you're like, hey, I kind of remember that happening. So you watch it, and when I say it is the craziest, wildest, unpredictable thing I've ever seen, and that it actually happened is amazing. Like, we still talk about it. Like, and now we compare everything to that. Like, man, that was good, but that ain't Kings of Tupelo. So basically,
Wow.
it's Tupelo, Mississippi. And the only reason I always remember is because Richard Pryor used to say it in his comedy skits talking about Tupelo, Mississippi, right?
Okay.
All right, so Tupelo, Mississippi, there was a guy who, they all back then, all in that area, they all love Elvis, right?
Okay.
So they were Elvis impersonators, right? So he's an Elvis impersonator. And they had a following, they did concerts and stuff. He talked, they didn't really look like Elvis, but you know, when they all do their hair and stuff, you kind of have a little picture of the way they move and stuff. Mm-hmm. So this dude, and I'm not gonna go out through it, but this dude sees something, and I'm not gonna tell us, he sees something, and then he goes through this conspiracy, right? It's like they're trying to do this, right? And when I say he falls down that rabbit hole, he falls down it to where it was a conspiracy. He ends up, I ain't gonna tell you how he get there, because if you watch the trailer, it'll show you. Do you remember when President Obama was still in office, and there was somebody had sent him something in the mail? It was a ricin scare.
Yes.
And there was some other politicians. Yep. Aha.
Really?
Yeah. But like I said, I'm not gonna say too much.
Wow.
But I was like, I remember that. You know, and you remember it, but you don't. Like, the news has a way of, like, they pull you into something and then they move on to something else, and you don't really know what happened, right? And to get the full story, watch how everything goes, how it happens. It is. Have you ever seen that show, The Tiger King?
I have.
Tiger King has nothing on this.
Wow.
I mean, this is probably, and I'm like, no, this can't be true. This can't be true. Yes, this was all 100% true. Wow. It actually happened. But check it out. Kings of Tupelo. All right, appreciate you, Netflix. Okay, so let's get into other stuff. First thing I'm gonna talk about is the Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder playoffs, or finals rather. Mm-hmm. As you know, OKC won Game 4, and then they just won Game 5, so they're up 3-2. The thing that's interesting to me is the turnovers that Indiana make a lot of. It's weird turnovers, because a lot of these turnovers that you see them making are like third grade
Elementary.
Like, there was one where Nimgard, he it's a swing pass. He catches it out on the top, almost wing, but more close to the top. Dort closes out, and Dort didn't close out to challenge the slide. It was like he was just there, so he could have shot, but he made a move. He drove. I think it was Shea was over here playing the short corner area out. There was somebody out on the wing in that area, 3-point. I can't think of who it was. But the action over here before he had the ball had Miles Turner. Mm-hmm. So Miles Turner ended up like in the dunker spot.
Sure.
Nimgard draws in. Turner's guy comes up. Nimgard throws it to the corner where Shea's like basically standing there. Turner was wide open. And I'm like, I'm seeing it as he starts to drive, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's a dunk. And then I'm like, why is he throwing it out there? Obi Toppin. I really like Obi Toppin. I think that Obi Toppin shouldn't have the ball to make plays.
Absolutely not.
Right?
Absolutely not.
I think he
struggles with that.
Yeah, I think he's better at, his catch and shoot is amazing. His rebounding, his cutting to the basket. Mm-hmm. But like time and time again, he was making bad, like the game 1, he had 2 terrible turnovers that were like, where are you throwing the ball? Like, why would you throw it? That's again, third grade turnover.
Right.
It's weird. It's mind boggling, because and I don't really even think that it's so much the pressure of OKC.
Right.
It just looks like they're just making maybe it's the pressure of the finals it's getting to them. What you think?
Well, one thing you hit on is the big. This is not,
Turner.
Yeah. No, not Turner.
Oh, Obi. Yeah.
Game one, I thought Obi was literally throwing the game.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Well, we gotta be careful.
I apologize.
Yeah, we don't want no gambling experts.
No.
Calling Obi. I know Obi can take care of himself now.
For sure. But to me, sometimes you have to even be more cognizant of what's going on when you play fast.
Right.
When you play a faster paced game, people think it's just more of a up and down.
Right.
Your mind has to be in sync with everything that's going on. But the more so with the mind, your process.
Right.
Your process has to be really, really fast. And so I just think there's a couple of guys, Nembhard being one at times, they're probably going a little bit faster than their mind is processing.
Yeah, that makes
sense. And that creates turnovers and obviously we can see it and like, man, what was that? But especially at that level.
Yeah.
This is the highest level of basketball in the world. And if you're going to play at that pace, you really got to be cerebral. I just think there's more athletes than more cerebral players.
Right. I've heard people talk about that. The players today are some of the most gifted and skilled players ever. Mm-hmm. But cerebrally, ball IQ, they are nowhere near the 70s, 80s, and 90s, maybe early 2000s, because athleticism and the skill level was still great, but across the board in general, it wasn't as big.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing that you say, it's weird because to me, what reason why I say it's weird is this: all defenses work on a set principle, right? Whether it's zone or man.
For sure.
We know that if you're going to drive baseline, that guy's going to probably come down and cut you off. If you got a corner, this guy's going to come down here, right? Mm-hmm. That guy, if he's at top, he's going to be looking here. So if you're driving, obviously your guys need to be relocated. So if that pass goes to him, like if you stand in the corner and this guy isn't used to making that drive baseline pass, and this guy's right here, he's going to make it even harder for him.
Right.
So why not relocate? So if you're looking there, you can hold them with your eyes and then pass the ball to a different spot. But it's like OKC is not doing anything defensively that teams don't do. Mm-hmm. They do it aggressively. I think they're really aggressive with how they shift and cut. Right. But when you watch him, a lot of times schematically, they're anticipating where that pass is going to go. Right. And then they're actually passing the work, like they're gambling, and they're always gambling right. Yeah. Right. And it's like, to your point, I think you have guys on the ball in certain circumstances that aren't used to, I see you here, and then I'm passing it there, right? And if you had even though Tyrese has been doing it a couple of times too.
The thing is this is what I know. This is what makes Halliburton so great.
Right.
Like I've watched it. I know, man. I know.
You all right?
Yeah. I know. I need some love, man. I was wrong about this kid. But you know what? He's very good at allowing his eyes to sell a story that may not be there. Yeah. He's like I don't know how he does this. I'm watching him make or miss. Mm-hmm. He's getting to an outlet immediately. He looks, his eyes are here, he gets it, and his decision is already made on his first bounce.
Now, okay, so I tried to put this into words because I was trying to create like a booklet or something. What I used to do is what I called it memory vision.
Okay.
So what I would do is on defense, when the ball went up, right, as the ball was going up, it was like I had a snapshot of where everybody was, right? As I got the rebound, as soon as I got the rebound, knowing where everybody was, it was like if I had my guy on this side and the defender was level with him, as soon as I got the rebound, I knew he was gonna be open. I could throw it ahead to him, right? If this guy was here, I knew if I got the ball as I'm going up, as soon as I took a dribble, I could give myself just that one dribble to ascertain what, where I needed to go. And that's what I see, because when I see it, it's like, that's that memory vision where you take a snapshot of something and then you kind of know where everybody's going to be once you're getting ready to go. It's
you're taking mental photos.
Mental photos, that's what I call it.
And as soon as you get it, you already kind of know how to manipulate the defense and so on and so forth.
Right.
That is elite.
Right.
Very elite.
And it's the crazy thing about it is I've tried to help kids with it, but the looks, like, wait, but how did you, how are you, and it's like I explain it, and it's like, okay, I think there are some things that just can't be taught. Right. There are just some things that it's just going to be natural, and it's just natural.
And I'm gonna say something, I may be off base, but that's a movie thing.
What do you mean?
You're a movie buff guy, right?
Oh yeah.
So you taking those snapshots, I really believe it correlates to that.
Right.
Because especially with your foundation of your background of horror movies and obviously things of that nature. And what I'm trying to say is it's a level of creativity and imagination.
Yeah.
And so once the snapshot are taken, like you literally put them in your head and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And you don't just take one, you're taking one or two.
Yeah, you take.
And that's the way you describe it, that's what it sounds like to me.
Right. Yeah. So, he has he's made some where I was thinking like, where did he go up? And now I would say maybe that's a product of Oklahoma City, maybe putting him in a space where he probably wasn't as comfortable and speeding him up in that. Right. But then, like for right now, you have to know what your weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're being put in positions where they're actually weaknesses, and they're not responding and saying, hey, they're inviting me to do this.
Yes.
Right?
And understand too, at that level, they study film.
Yeah.
And tendencies.
Yeah.
Right? So all that stuff is studied. So, if you're programmed to do this, hey, I'm gonna always drive here and kick to this corner, like that's what you can't do, especially in the finals.
Right.
You have to see it. Right.
And I think your players have to understand how to adjust.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's like when you say film, and that's like, hey, look, whenever they push me, Jason Williams is always trying to come down. He's always looking to play that lane. Chet Holmgren is always here making himself long, so it's making it harder for me to make that pass. So it's like they're forcing me to make that pass to him, where Jay Will can step in. They're blocking it off. Right. Miles, whenever I go, you cut straight to the basket. Because Chet's not going to see that. And because Jason is looking to go over to that wing, anticipating that pass out to not either try to steal it or be there right when it comes, you can't cover everything.
Yes, sir.
So if people if they started slashing, especially when you draw baseline, everybody's back is turned. And all you got to do is just start, slashing in and knowing these are who I'm going to make you think I'm looking. And I always tell kids, it's like a quarterback. When a quarterback drops back and he's looking to make that deep pass, he has to hold that safety with his eyes. Because if he drops back and he's already looking over here and he throws it, that's an interception. So sometimes you got to hold him here looking, make him think you're there, and then you turn and throw it, right? It's the same thing. I'm going to hold you with my eyes, making you think I'm going to go this way, and then when somebody cuts, I'm going to hit him with that pass. So do you think it's over?
No, it's definitely not over.
So you think it's 7?
Depends on the health of Halliburton.
Right.
And I'll just add to your point, quarterbacks. A lot of elite quarterbacks watch film on themselves
Right.
and look at their own tendencies.
Right.
So you have to, like you said, you got to know your flaws and really build on those flaws and understand what the defense is going to be looking at. As you begin to study your tendencies and weaknesses and so on and so forth.
Right. And that's just part of, like, nobody's
over.
I don't. It's like, look, like they were in that game. I think that's one of the first times that Carlisle may have left Halliburton in a little bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like McConnell was cooking.
He was.
You should have brought him back in. See what could have happened, because they were right there. But I get it. Halliburton's used to, but see, he's kind of hobbling, right?
And that calf is not going to go away.
They blew game 4. They should be up 3. They should have been up 3-1 going into game 5.
Yeah.
They blew. But it's like, I was like, one of my Facebook friends, he's a coach. He's in Oklahoma, and I kind of put out there that, like, I'll just say, I'm not discounting OKC's defense. What I saw in game 5 defensively was what I wanted to see. The first 4 games, I've seen a lot of pushing, shoving, grabbing from OKC out on their perimeter. And to me, that's not defense. Right? There's even a video, and I'm watching it thinking, oh, that's a foul. They're going to call it. Halliburton's coming over a screen to get I think it was a DHO, dribble handoff. I'm sorry. I got to make sure I say it, because
DHO.
My mom.
Dribble handoff.
My mom, hi mama, she actually was telling me that she watched the podcast. And then when she watched the game, she remembered what we were talking about, and the game made more sense to her.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like,
awesome.
okay, so I don't want to be that person that says something, and then you're like, what does that mean? You try to look it up. DHO is a direct handoff, direct handoff. And what that is if I'm dribbling the ball and Lee comes this way, I'm dribbling and I hand it off to Lee and I set a screen for him at the same time. They are it was a DHO with Halliburton and I think Miles Turner. Dort is tied to Halliburton. As Halliburton's going out, he reaches to kind of grab him, and then as he's getting through, Dort's gonna be behind. He just shoves him. Like, it was like just like, and Halliburton lost his balance, but he kept going, which I loved. He didn't try to sell it.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, that's not basketball. Like, why would you shove him? Right? Your defense, was it NBA all first or second team all defense?
Yes.
That's not how you play.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of like the grab. Now Indiana, I've seen it too, right? But Indiana isn't in the conversation of one of the greatest defensive teams ever. I don't remember seeing those 96 through 98 Bulls grabbing and holding.
No. They didn't have to. They're
Right,
elite.
they were just elite. It's just it kind of bothered me, but I mean I wasn't like, oh my God, I hate them, because 2 years ago I went out and said, hey, OKC will be a contender in the next couple of years.
Yeah. So my thing is, everyone's talking about defense, but they never talk about Indiana's defense.
Right.
They talk about the full court pressure.
Right.
But once OKC solved that problem, it seemed to unlock some things. And it seems like there is a hole, or there's a lot of miscommunications and mismatches that OKC is taking advantage of in the half-court set. Because from what I saw, J-Dub, he got so many easy baskets and dunks, and I'm like, where's everyone at? You know, it just, to me, it just seemed like, not that they quit, but OKC was doing something that they just couldn't respond to.
Phil Handy was on the NBA TV.
Okay.
And he pointed out that they were making a more concerted effort on those, initial steals or kickouts, that instead of settling in secondary stuff, they were pushing the envelope and really attacking the rim. And that's how Jay Will was getting out and shooting it. So they had
that's what they do best.
They saw something on tape that said this is how we could exploit it.
Right.
Indiana has seemed to be able to push the ball a little bit faster after made baskets.
Right.
And there were a couple of opportunities where they could get the ball, push it, and they get their patented layups, but they missed it because OKC wasn't paying attention, getting back on defense the way they normally do. So it's fascinating. And like I say, by this time, in the series, you probably have made all the adjustments that you can, and it's now about playing. One adjustment that I paid attention to, that I think it was it starting in game 3? No, it was game 4.
Okay.
Game 4, they started to do guard-to-guard screen action. And a lot of it was whoever Neesmith was guarding, because Shea wanted that switch on him. So if Nimgard's guarding Shea, Jay Will Jay Will comes to screen,
Make him
and
switch.
then they switch, and he was.
Wow.
Naismith had, and that was something I don't remember seeing the first 2 to 3 games.
That's true.
And it's weird because Naismith is a really good defender. He's had trouble with Shea, right? Nimgard, is it Nimgard or Ningard?
It's Nimgard.
Okay. He's had he's played against him. He knows him. He understands how to guard Shea. Shea has a lot of problems with him.
He does.
He has a lot of problems with him. So, what I'm wanting to see is we're not switching. You remember when Cleveland played Golden State in the finals,
man.
KD's first finals?
Yep.
And LeBron tried to go through the screen
Yep.
and every time he tried to go through the screen, KD would get under and was there and start clapping at him.
Yeah.
I'm here, you ain't now.
Yep.
And LeBron figured, okay, I gotta just try to go after him.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see for more, because the one thing I don't see as much with Jay Will or with Shea is coming off screens, pull up threes fast, like Steph. Like Steph, you're not going under that screen.
You're not.
Because it's so quick. But Shea and Jay Will, I think if you went under and forced him to shoot a little bit faster, you might have a little bit more success.
And to your point, I do think there are moments where Shea needs to really make faster decisions with the basketball.
Right.
His patience is his biggest weapon.
Right.
However, there are some times where you really got to just go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So we're interested to see how it goes. I hope it goes 7. I don't know why I still think Indiana can win this.
Really?
I still think.
You think TJ Connell can play 25 to 30 plus minutes?
I think he can. Look, you only got 2 more games. What you gonna do with the rest of the minutes?
I mean, is he gonna be that effective?
Yeah, because he didn't play that much, and they play for a short span. You can up your minutes. I mean, think about it. You got 2 more games. If you hypothetically play 40 minutes a game, now, okay, that's if Halliburton is still playing, right?
That's my point.
Okay, because if he's having to play heavy minutes,
that's my point.
He can't really sell out.
That's my point.
Because he has to kind of make
Reserve
sure he has
a little bit.
that energy and stuff. But
that is my point.
If Halliburton plays and he comes off, I think maybe they have Halliburton start and they bring TJ Connell, and TJ plays more major minutes, and now maybe they have Halliburton to come off almost like subbing for TJ, giving him some spot minutes.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see.
It's going to be interesting.
The chess continues.
Absolutely.
All right. So one more thing I want to talk about is I was seeing something right as I was getting ready to come up here, and they was talking about rings.
Okay.
And LeBron was on his show, and he was talking about rings and stuff. It made me think of a question because, ring culture that's how you define a player. My question was,
excuse me,
would Michael Jordan be considered the GOAT if he didn't win any championships?
I just don't think so. I don't think so. See, the thing with me is, excuse me, your play kind of dictates how great you are as a player.
Right.
But the rings places greatness in another level, in another stratosphere. It puts you in another stratosphere because it's about winning.
Yeah.
But bottom line, and I think LeBron is so fixated. He is too thirsty to be the GOAT. He's trying to change the narrative.
Hold on.
He's about to retire. He's trying to change the narrative. LeBron knows there is -10, -100 percentage that he will win another championship.
Okay. You
Yes,
gotta
sir.
you gotta use another word, man, because when you say thirsty, my mind goes to a meme. Right? It's a meme with a lady looking at a basketball player and she's drinking on a drink.
Oh,
And
yeah,
she's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It looks like she's lusting for the guy. And it's not like a female thing. It's just the first time I saw a meme and it was talking about thirsty, and it was thirsting after. That's where my mind always goes. If it was something else, it would go there. But yeah, we gotta find another word because I had this thought of him standing up there with a straw, looking at.
I'll say this. LeBron is uber enamored with literally being the GOAT, and he cannot be the GOAT. He can't. I don't. It doesn't matter what anyone says. So the narrative is now is how many championships he's got to? How many finals has he got to? 9?
Like 9 or
10, right?
9 or 10.
So the question is, if I've gotten 9 finals, right? Let's just say 9, and I've only won 3. Is that successful? It might be 10. Right?
No, it's 10.
It's 10
because he's
yeah.
four out of 10.
The
He's
Lakers.
lost 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's 4 out of 10. That's not success. If that's the case, then Jerry West, he went to 8, right? I mean, so it doesn't matter that you get there. You have to win. I mean, that's what sports is about, winning. No one, that's what they got on Jordan for. Oh yeah, we know you can score all these points, you can do this, do that, but you can't win a championship.
That's true.
You know, they were on Jordan for many years. So now why are we moving the goalpost now? Now why is it changing? That's what bothers me the most.
Yeah.
Because he's so fixated, and just like I said before, he's enamored with being the GOAT because he's telling himself he's the GOAT. Jordan never even discusses the GOAT.
Yeah.
So for me, it's 2 different things. It's great players, and then how can they put themselves in this stratosphere?
Yeah.
Because that's important. Great players help teams get over the hump, bottom line. And so I think LeBron is great. I think he's great. I think LeBron is probably the 3rd or 4th best player ever to play this game.
You know, and it's funny because what you just said, 3rd or 4th greatest player. It's like everybody else has a different number for him. Some people have him as number 2. Some people has him as number 3. Some have him number 4. Some have him number 5 as far as the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's like everybody has a different perception of, you know, where they have him
Right.
and why.
And for me, it's very easy. This is my formula. Okay, give me a player that people say is above LeBron.
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, MJ,
Of course.
but I guess you could. Well, the Kobe
Okay.
thing has
All right.
always been
Cool. We'll take Kobe. All right. So you've got Kobe, D Wade, Chris Bosh. Do they lose to the Dallas Mavericks? It's not even a question. No, not even close.
I don't know, man.
See, he homer over here.
No,
in Dallas.
I'm just saying Dirk was that dude.
I agree.
And it wasn't
But
like
on that big 3, think about it. Kobe, D Wade, and Bosh. Do they lose the series? They lost the series because LeBron failed. Bottom line, he wasn't ready for the moment. His his ability to not channel in a killer instinct caused them to lose.
I tell you what, I can't agree and I can't disagree with that.
Okay.
I'll put it like that.
I have another formula. I'm glad he said that. Another formula. If your life depends on it, your family's life depended on it, and you need a bucket, are you going to get that to LeBron or Kobe? There it is. And it goes back to the All-Star game. It was all set up for LeBron.
I don't want to use that as an example.
It's a fact. No, it wasn't for fun.
That's a fun thing.
Okay,
it's competitive.
It's tied up.
It's competitive.
No, they're down, Kay. They're down, Kay. And as great as a passer as LeBron is, Kobe like, okay, one-on-one, let's go, come on. And Kobe's telling him, hey, this is where you make your money. Come on, let's go. Make your name. He drives in, scared of Kobe, throws it to Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard's not even open. As great of a passer as he is.
You said he's scared of Kobe.
Absolutely.
I've seen LeBron post Kobe's ass up and engulf him on the box. I've literally seen him do that multiple times where it's like, damn, where is Kobe at?
You need to YouTube Kobe abuses LeBron.
I didn't say he didn't. But you use the term scared. But I'm saying when they played each other, he went.
When I say scared, I mean in the moment.
I know. I understand what you're saying.
The moment.
I understand what you're saying. So we're gonna have to leave that there because it's gonna go. We be arguing next week at same thing.
Hey,
I have a long beard saying no, you're wrong.
If you lose to the Mavericks 4-2, I know Dirk is a killer. Look at the roster. You'll be shocked.
Yeah, I will give you that.
You will be shocked.
I'll give you that.
So for me, losing that series, you cannot be the GOAT. You cannot be the GOAT.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. Let my man cool down.
I'm great.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Hope y'all are enjoying my man's crusade to make sure LeBron. We're going to send it out to LeBron, make sure LeBron knows.
Formulas.
But we're gonna go into our basketball ideology. Okay, so what I'm gonna discuss is sometimes when I'm training, and I always have to have a sense. I have to read body language. There are a lot of things that I have to do while I'm doing it, and there's sometimes the things that I'm teaching the kids that they need to know, but they have no interest in doing. Like, I'll give you a prime example. Teaching the kid, if they're going to go pick and roll, that when they go pick and roll, number one, they have to allow that person to set the screen and not go too fast, or else it's going to be a foul on that player, and it's their fault. Right. Second thing is if they're going over it, they got to go. You want to go shoulder to shoulder, right? And you want to go at an angle to force the defense to collapse, and now you can probably have passing lanes. Well, certain kids will not adhere to it, and they'll always keep going before the screen is set. They won't go close. They'll go at a wide angle, right? Or I'll give you one of my favorite examples. When I'm teaching between the legs, and I'm starting to try to show them how to be explosive when they go between the legs, I try to tell them that when they go between, so if you're here and the ball goes in between, they skip that back foot behind that front foot. So if they're going from right to left, the left foot's in front, they'll bring that right foot behind, and it causes them to like skip out. And I explained to them, you have to, when you go between, you have to come through with that right foot, because number one, it makes you extremely explosive. It's a smoother transition. Number two, it keeps the defender from coming over or pushing you out, because your body is taking up that space. And throughout the course of a training, they'll keep doing it. So then I'll stop them, and then I tell them, okay, I never yell. So now what we're going to do is anytime you skip your feet, it's going to be 10 push-ups. We got 10 to 15 more reps. You do the math if you skip your feet 10 to 15 more times, right? And they'll do it because they don't want to do push-ups. But the body language is, well, I'm getting the move. I'm doing it. I'm getting through. And then I have to explain to them. You're playing against 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th or 6th grade kids. You have not played an elite defender.
Right.
And I promise you, when you play an elite defender, that shit's not going to work.
Right.
So it is, look, even as long as we've been doing this, you're still going to have kids at some point that they might not lock in until it happens.
Yeah.
And when it happens, and their experience has them, then that's when they're at a crossroads.
And I'm glad you point that out, because we've got a kid that's really athletic. Something as simple as boxing out, or
Right.
blocking out, just not gonna do it.
Right.
You know? Just doesn't put forth enough effort.
Right.
And so I just think I hate saying this generation, but you have kids that are less coachable.
Right.
Just being honest. You have kids that are not gonna buy in because, you know, a lot of times they're so hard-headed enough to believe that I can do this regardless. You know, that's the gift and the curse.
Yeah.
There has to be some balance.
Right.
But the last thing I'll say is, more of this generation feels like they have to learn when they fail,
Right.
instead of actually being taught not how to fail.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, and to that point, there exactly what you're saying. There are, as you move up the chain though, once you've learned everything, I do think you kind of reverse that order, where you
Agreed.
want them to fail
Agreed.
to learn how to succeed. But yeah, that's an excellent point. They it's weird because the strangest thing when you think of this is you'll have kids that don't know how to play. They don't know how to dribble. They don't know how to shoot. All of that. And you might have even parents that have never played. But when you're teaching them and you're kind of getting, like, well, when I say attitude, I mean subtle. I don't
Push
deal,
back a little bit.
I don't deal with any of that. If there's a kid who just really, like, they don't want to listen, then what I do is I'll show you why you can't do what you want to do. So I will lock them up, even at my age. I'll say, okay, all right, let's go. And I will lock them up,
Oh, wow.
and then they get frustrated. I've had it happen maybe 3 times where I've had to lock them up. And then I turn around and said, okay, now you're going to guard me. And that never goes well. I don't know if I ever showed you. There's a video of me doing something on one of my kids just to kind of show them different concepts. And my wife said, you should put that out there. It's going to go viral.
Really?
He vetoed that. He's like, nah, that ain't getting
He didn't want it out
He
there.
did
huh?
not want it out there. So, you know, from time to time, I have to try to let these kids understand that, you know, what I'm showing you and teaching you is stuff that you probably will never have the opportunity to learn.
Is it, and I'm not being disrespectful by any means to parents, but is it a lack of discipline, and is it slightly a parental thing?
With some, I could say, and look,
It depends on who it is.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it's not like this major thing. It's just little things I notice, and to that point, when I notice it, there's a conversation at the end of the training with the parent there and saying, "Look, you know, you don't have to be here, right? Like, you don't have to be here. This is something that you want to do." But I promise you, I've trained kids that you've been playing, and I know they've been busting your ass, right? So it's up to you whether you want to learn, because the one thing that I do find out as kids go through this, they don't understand what you endure when you're trying to be quote unquote a great player. They don't understand it, and a lot of them don't want it, and some of them are like, well, I just want to play, and that's good. To your point about is discipline in some instances, yes. Is it the parents being kind of a hovering in some instances that's happened? I really think it's this thing where, well, how do you know what I need to do, right?
But and that's my thing. It's you ain't never talk back to mama, right?
Oh no, well, no, I don't even want to say
you wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be here. So to me, it's the way kids are. It's not all on the parents,
right?
Okay, it's not. But I think there are a lot of instances where we've given kids too many choices.
Yeah.
And so they can pick and choose and do whatever. Like I've had some players. Hey, we're gonna go out to eat. We have a meeting. Where do y'all want to go? So indecisive.
Right.
And just the indecisiveness and just not understanding. Look, Coach Keenan's doing this for me.
Yeah.
He's not against me. He's only gonna do something that's gonna benefit him.
Yeah.
So we can both win.
Right.
And I don't think they have that concept yet.
Now I will say this: if I was to draw a circle and make a pie, the percentage of kids that this really applies to in that pie might be 5%, right? That are
I would agree with that
for the reasons that we discussed.
Yep. It is the low percentage. It is.
Here's the part that it is the big part.
Okay.
The biggest reason why they seem to have no interest is because they struggle to do it. And if they struggle to do it, their mentality is, well, I'm not going to do it because I don't know how to do it. But here, no, you're going to do it. Well, I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to struggle, but the struggle helps you to get better, right? So then you have kids that this probably applies to more. Well, like I'll give you a perfect example. I had a kid yesterday. The move, all we did was, I was forcing him to go left. Now, this is a 7-year-old and his older brother. 7-year-old looks like he's 9.
Wow.
Right? He's keeping up. So all we're going to do is we're going to go sweep, 1 dribble, 1, 2, left hand layup.
Wow.
They struggled so mightily. The 7-year-old ends up saying his knees hurting. So I'm like, okay, did you hit it? All right, so, I let him sit down, gave him some ice as we kept going. Mom's mentioned to me when he's frustrated that he can't do something,
he's hurt.
All of a sudden something's hurt. But he got back out there and he did it enough. I say out of 10 reps, he probably got 4 or 5 of them right. Now that's big for a 7-year-old.
Absolutely.
And we're going left.
Young.
He wasn't making, he might have made one of those, but he was going up with the left. And I was telling him, look, that's going to happen. It's steps. Once you get comfortable with the mechanics of the footwork and going in without thinking, then you focus on the shot. But that was just one of those things that it's like, yeah.
So just from what I'm understanding, they're having issues with the process.
Yes, the process is hard.
Right.
And not all kids. Some kids, when you're showing them something new, they don't want to do it because they don't.
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time, my job is to make you uncomfortable. So when you're in the game, you're comfortable.
There you go.
Right?
I love that.
Because you can show me all these fancy dancy moves going right, but I'm gonna identify that you don't dribble more than two dribbles with your left. Guess where I'm gonna push your ass?
Yes, sir.
To your left, right?
Yes,
And if you can't go left, you're not going right. So yeah, it's making them uncomfortable, and they don't often understand it or get it until they're in the game, and I get sent video of them dribbling left and making a left-hand layup.
I try to always explain to our athletes, listen, the growth comes with the struggle.
Yes.
That's where
Absolutely.
the true growth is. It's not when things start happening. No, it's not magic. Like, that growth comes within that struggle.
Right.
And so if they can really have an understanding of that, a clear understanding of, hey, I'm gonna struggle for a while, but I'm gonna keep pushing through this.
Right.
I gotta push through the other side of success, and I'll be fine. And that's the kids that understand that, man, they grow exponentially. Their game grows exponentially. The ones that don't struggle a little bit more, but they still can push through though.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully that helps. The thing that they all understand is I'm not gonna change my technique because you're uncomfortable and you have a hard time with it.
Amen.
I'm going to find a way to help you to conquer it, to get where you need to do, because it's something you have to have. If you don't have it, you're not going to be good in this game very long.
And that's why I'm not a trainer. Okay, because listen, you have to really identify, number one, build that relationship first.
Right.
Then you can identify, and you get a lot of feedback from parents outside of your facility.
Right.
And that goes in your memory bank, so you use all those things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, everything that has happened, from the first one to now, it's all gear. It helps me and guides me so I can always have something to pull back on. Okay, I remember when I had to do this with this kid.
Right.
And like like some people say, well, they don't need an evaluation training. And I say, look, nobody comes in here without an evaluation training. And the reason is I'm gonna see what you struggle with, and then I'm gonna show you how fast I can get you better in that area. Now, once you've seen it, you've seen how you can open up your game or get better at this. Now you're okay. I tend to use it to establish that I'm the alpha. That's really, I'm doing this, but it's because the last thing I want is a kid coming in thinking, what is this dude? Right? So obviously with the younger kids, I don't have to do much. But when it's the older kids, the high school kids, most of them have heard, they know and stuff, or they know somebody that's been here. So some really know, but there's some that come in and they're just kind of like, and I'll put them through a few different things. Then I'll start to do stuff, handle-wise, decision-making wise.
Put them in some uncomfortable
positions. Now I do something intentionally that they can't do, and I do it easy. And now, okay, I can't do that. Like now you're ready. I done broke down the walls. Now you're ready to listen. So it's more, and I have to use it as a means sometimes to put parents in place. And only, it only happens if it's happened. It only happens one time.
Is it more parent than player?
No, it's more players. It's more player. And like when I say it's more, it's like it doesn't, like for every 20 to 30 kids, I might have one or two where I have to really go ahead and make sure I let them know that your game ain't on that level.
Right.
And for every 20 to 30 parents, it might be one.
Oh, okay.
It might be one.
That's great.
And it's not a disrespectful thing. They'll try to run up and say, hey, you know what? I do have some that have like tried to give me a reasons why they're not, doing it, and I'll stop them and say, I got this. You just relax.
Right. And I don't think it's a negative thing.
No.
Like they're just really wanting success.
Right.
That's really what how I would see it.
Now there was one that wanted to get up and try to tell me what I needed to do. And I stopped him dead in his tracks. And I looked at him and I said, hey, I got this. And then the mom was kind of like, oh. And I looked at him, bowl in his eye. I said, if what you were doing was working, you wouldn't be here. I said, so relax. I said, relax. Watch what I'm doing. And after the end, if it's not your cup of tea, by the end, he loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it. And he stayed with me for a long time. He loved it. Mom's like, well, I love it. And he said, look, the other reason I love it is because you you humbled me. You put me in my place.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I didn't try to do it. I didn't expect that you were gonna, do what you did. Like, you don't go pay a doctor and the doctor's in the middle of surgery and you want to run in and tell the doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just correlating. Like, look, I don't go to your job and tell you how to do what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You paid to come over here and see what's going on. So
absolutely.
All right. So last thing,
yes, sir,
we're gonna do is you didn't lost your damn mind.
Yes, sir.
All right. So apparently this conversation has came up. I've heard it. I didn't really per se get a beat to actually hear it, but I believe the question was, does LeBron have a bag? Right. So what is a bag? Okay, a bag basically is all these different moves. So when you look at, I'll use Kyrie as a perfect example. Kyrie has a bag in the sense that he has all of these different moves. Shea as well, they have all these different moves to free up. So they're always going to be able to get where they need to and get their shot. And the bag really, and to me, pertains to the handles, right? You have handles to get, like, and one style handles to get where you need. So my question, does he have a bag?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, LeBron is so elite, he doesn't need a bag.
Okay.
Now, hear me out, okay? 6'9",
Yeah.
265.
I thought it was 6'8", 6'9", yeah.
Okay. So I feel that LeBron gets a bad rap for him not having the Kyrie bag at his size and so on and so forth. However, LeBron has a bag. He is brilliant in the sense of he thought this through. He studied every opponent that's going to guard him, and he studied every opponent that he's going to go against. So he knows LeBron does different things depending on who's guarding him. He can get to any spot on the floor he wants to. Yeah. Just because he's more fundamental does not mean he doesn't have a bag, period.
Okay, so I get exactly where you're coming, and I agree cold-heartedly. But let's stick to the question. When we say a bag, when I say a bag, what do you think of?
When I say a bag, handles with multiple moves.
Thank you.
He has that.
He does not have handles with multiple moves.
He has that.
No, he does. Show me any film where LeBron has did some pat, in and out cross, go over here, spin move into a layup. Never seen it.
What?
Now, okay, the spin move part, but LeBron is not going to bring you up top and go rock you. And
LeBron will rock you and then look to the, you know how he looks away and then trays it.
No, he does. It's the one thing I'm always like, why aren't more people defending that where he bounces and then
they can't stop it.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Is like, why is it that nobody, like same thing with Luka. You know Luka drives left, he's going to hit you with that step back three.
Yeah.
Why are you not on it to impede it? Now, I obviously, like, I'm not playing in the NBA or anything. I'm just like saying, like, yo, like, it should be, I'm not even saying you should be able to steal it. It should be more heavily contested. Oh, there I go again, more heavily.
Yeah,
it should be heavy. I heard, and she's on my Facebook. I might get a message from her. It might be heavily contested, right? So, nah, LeBron don't have no. I agree with you. He
can handle, man.
He can handle the ball. He has handles, but he ain't mixing people up.
Man, how many people realize LeBron played a whole year at the PG position?
I know that, but Magic Johnson played his whole entire career. John Stockton played their whole career at the PG.
Those guys are different, though.
But you never seen them crossing and making people fall. That's the essence of a bag. You get to your spot. A lot of times, somebody stumbles while guarding you. I've never seen anybody stumble with guarding LeBron with handles. Now, has somebody closed out and he gave them a pump fake, and then they came down and he went with a step and they thought he was driving and he come back and shoot? I think I've seen him do that and that guy stumbled.
Having a bag is also going by people getting layups. Being able to maneuver the basketball. Maneuver the basketball. Okay. How many people, and this has happened a whole lot. I've witnessed this a ton. You've crossed people over. They didn't fall. You left them standing right where they were. And they went here. Yeah. You saying LeBron has never how does he get to the rim so often then? He's leaving people.
He's basically crossing. Fundamentally, he's crossing. He uses his body to dip his shoulder.
Okay.
You have to show me video of him having you, and he steps and crosses. Okay, look. Let me put it in a different light.
Okay.
Having a bag, you got to have a little sauciness to your game with your handles.
Okay, so
he doesn't have
there's
that.
different bags, is what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. He has a bag. It's a tier 1 bag, a tier 1 fundamental bag where I can get to my spot, and you are 100% right. I have no beef with that. What I'm saying is he's not hitting you with an AI style crossover. I mean, Jordan had same kind of bag in a sense. Jordan didn't have no major. Jordan was fundamentally sound. He didn't have no step out, get you here, cross you over back.
He had it, Kate, but he didn't need it. That's how elite he was.
He didn't need it.
We're talking about Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he had handles.
If you listen to Kenny Smith talk, when he came back from college, he told you don't have a handle. When he came back, Jordan had multiple moves.
But they were still.
You're speaking of more and one stuff.
I hate it because I don't want people to think I'm talking about carrying the ball. No.
Just being shifty.
Shifty.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Kind of a little bit of flash. That's what I think about. But okay, so maybe
you're a different type of guard.
Maybe this is kind of one of those draw where we're both right. Because when you say Jordan and LeBron, yes, fundamentally they had a bag with their handles where they could go, they go between the legs and then they get you here and then they gone. You cut them off, they go around the back. So they're getting the same thing, but the average person that talks about bag is they're talking about moves.
I see what you're saying.
So the little flashy stuff.
And it's more of a smaller guard thing. Besides a Tracy McGrady, guys like that. Cole.
I think Tracy kind of had a little bag. Tatum has a bag. Jaylen Brown has a bag.
So Tracy McGrady had a bigger bag than JT. Jason Tatum.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Hey, as much as I hate to admit this, I've seen Tracy McGrady shake Cole.
Yeah, no, I've seen him, but he shook Cole. You talking about the one where he put that move on Cole, and then Cole came back and then got a dunk on the next play?
Yeah.
But that's happened
multiple times.
Yeah, but it was more of a fundamental move.
You need to watch.
I know Tracy has some. Tracy does have a bag. Tracy's he's more in the middle. He's more like LeBron and Jordan. But he kind of dips his toe over here.
He does. And people don't realize he's 6'11".
Yeah.
He's 6'11".
Oh, and then you got me thinking.
What kind of bag do you think Gilbert Arenas had?
I think Gilbert was
more of a downhill guy. Or was
downhill? No, Gilbert could take you at top.
Hey,
he'd take you at top of the key. I think he was starting. Say maybe he was a bridge because he was fundamental, but he was starting to get into that, But like you don't see, like he had a crossover, and R.I.P. Kobe. He's like one thing Kobe was susceptible to was his crossover.
Yeah, Jordan too. That's crazy how it is, right? Jordan too was
susceptible to that cross.
You know, had a nice bag. Grant Hill before he got hurt.
I say, and Grant is another one that was right on the cusp.
6'8",
because he had the between, stutter, and for me, if you say, well, what do you need in order to have a bag? For me, it's the ability to shift, read, and freeze the defender. So if I go between my legs and I bring it out, And when I step out with my left foot, if you go this way, I'm crossing over. You're not going to still be with me. Or if I go between my legs and you're worried about the crossover, so you stay more this way, when my foot gets outside of you, when I hesitate and I blow by you that way, you're still there. That's kind of bad. So even if you go between, behind, it's what you do right in that moment.
Right.
LeBron does that. LeBron goes 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, and he'll bounce it. But it's the ability to really just freakishly
make the
shake
defense react
and make somebody fall.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So that was a great conversation because I think it enlightened a lot of people. And you're right in the sense that he has a bag. Him and Jordan has bag, and there are other guys that have bags that didn't need to have those kind of handles.
Right.
But I asked you this question because who was it that said it? Golly, it'll come to me. Somebody said recently that Jamal Tinsley had the same, if not better, handles than Kyrie Irving. Who was it that said that?
T-Mac said that.
T-Mac said that.
I don't.
Jamal Tinsley was nice.
He was tough.
Oh my God,
I think he just did it a different way.
He had crazy handles.
He did.
But he wasn't the way Kyrie was.
It's just a different way of doing it. Yeah.
It's different. And then Kyrie's attacking you. Like Kyrie's one of those one type of persons that can attack a 6'11" guy who can defend out on the perimeter and still get his shot off.
Yeah. To me, Jamal Tinsley was more of a handle with the pace guy.
Yeah.
He would really manipulate the ball and manipulate his posture to get the defense to respond.
Jamal
He's
Tinsley
tough, man.
Nice.
Tough.
I remember the first time I saw him, I was like, like you would like
Played at Iowa State, right?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about in the NBA.
Oh, in the league.
In the league, he was like, it's like when sometimes, like, you didn't see Kyrie do all the things he did at Duke.
No, sir.
Until he got to the league.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like
Yep.
the NCAA college, they kind of hold you back from stuff.
A little bit.
But
That's that Duke.
but yo, Jamal Tinsley, I was like, oh my God.
Hey.
He was giving it to people.
Yeah.
He was close.
He was tough, man.
But yeah, look, I've seen.
But I'm not gonna put him over Kyrie.
He would be right under. Like, I would put him ahead of a lot of guys, when it comes to that handle game.
To me, it's Rod Strickland's in there.
Yes.
Jamal Tinsley's in there.
Yes.
Jamal Crawford's in there.
Yes. Woo! And Jamal, well, yeah. Jamal, well, okay. Don't. I'm not saying no. I'm saying Jamal had a different style.
He did.
Jamal was almost kind of a setup handle where he's going to come and he's going to set you up and then he hits you on the reaction.
Yep.
Kyrie was more of a flow.
Yeah. To me, it's like great singers. They all got different styles.
Yeah.
That's just really how
And
I
the funny
see it.
thing is, like, if I'm saying this, somebody going to be like, oh, man, he crazy. How you had like, dog, I just said this. Like, if you have handles, you would actually know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And it's nothing wrong.
Right.
It's not like it was successful with what he did.
Yeah.
Some people are successful in some ways. Other people are successful in other ways. I'm more of a flow. And Kyrie actually articulated kind of how I was playing, but I'm a go with one move, whether it's a jab, pump fake, or a straight line drive. Everything I do after that is based on how the defender
reacts. Yeah.
Whatever he does, I'm countering it. And you're just a series of counters.
You're actually playing defense on offense.
Right. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful discussion today.
That was a great conversation.
It was spirited. We still ain't got to where we're like, it was a little arguing right here. Our voices was raising. We ain't had no furniture moving or anything. I'm looking for that day.
Listen, first and foremost, the furniture's not going to move because, listen, I'm going to have to pay for everything in here. And, I don't have it like that, okay? Yeah, I'm telling you right now, this facility here, there's a lot of expensive I don't want to say things. There's a lot of expensive equipment and devices here that are worth more than I'm worth. Let's just say that.
You tripping. He tripping.
I'm dead serious.
But look, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate all the comments, the likes,
Absolutely.
following, subscribe. The information we get back is not gold, it's platinum, because it allows us to try to make sure we're hitting what people are mentioning. So keep that shit coming.
Absolutely.
Keep it coming.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, so we're gonna end it like we always do. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Out.
Peace.
Street cred sports, say it with your chest. Yeah. Go get it from the net. Street cred sports, okay, that's a bet.